E3 press conferences, and we kick today off big with Microsoft.
From their new console to all the games, we're here to catch you up, so stick with us for the next few minutes. We won't waste time, and Microsoft didn't either on getting to the meat of their presentation, Project Scorpio, or as we now know it, Xbox One X. Man, I was hoping for Natal.
First up, we got a look at the box, and it looks like, well, a black Xbox One, but it's actually going to be the smallest Xbox ever. The $500 machine is equipped with an 8-core CPU, 6 teraflop GPU, and 12 gigabytes of GDDR5 RAM.
As we expected, Xbox One X is going all in on 4K with HDR. Microsoft promises 8 million active pixels, and that even those playing in traditional 1080p will be able to notice the difference through super sampling. Microsoft announced that all your Xbox One games and accessories will work with Xbox One X, and it'll be out on November 7.
But what's a cool box without being able to see what it can do? The first of the games Microsoft revealed running on Xbox One X was Forza Motorsport 7. Not only was it the worldwide reveal of the game, but also the worldwide reveal of the Porsche 2018 911 GT2 RS, both in-game and IRL.
There will be more than 700 cars available in the game, and it'll be, quote, the most technically advanced and comprehensive racing game when it launches on October 3. Forza Motorsport 7 will run in 4K at 60 frames per second on Xbox One X. Man, that is already really hard to say.
Microsoft also debuted the world premiere of Metro Exodus, the new title from 4A Games. The gameplay trailer showed off ominous apocalyptic ruins, skeletons, and big nasty beasties. Of course. We saw 2 different weapons, a rifle and a crossbow, before the protagonist met up with a companion aboard a massive train. The game is launching in 2018.
After all those leaks, we finally got our first official look at the next Assassin's Creed Origins. And yep, we're headed to Egypt. The main character is Bayek, the last of the Magi. We saw swimming, rafting, a giant cobra, and of course, parkour. The game features literal falcon vision to tag enemies and set waypoints, counter-heavy combat, and camel riding. Interestingly, Ubisoft said they have added deeper RPG elements. Assassin's Creed Origins will release October 27.
EA gave us a taste of BioWare's new IP Anthem yesterday, but today at Microsoft we got much more. Anthem will feature a huge, lush open world for you and your friends to explore. Game director John Warner showed off a gameplay trailer with a crowded market, a giant mechanical beast, and an NPC in need of help.
The game lets you equip unique Javelin exosuits, which can be equipped with jetpacks, mortars, homing rockets, and chain guns. Everything you need to explore and survive the hostile lands. Anthem also features dynamic weather, and we have an expected release window in 2018. Let me take a deep breath because there's still more. Microsoft revealed that PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is coming to Xbox, with Xbox One X enhancements to follow.
Microsoft also debuted fighting game Dragon Ball FighterZ, or Fighters, they only put it up on screen, which, as you can imagine, features Dragon Ball characters in beautiful cel-shaded 3v3 matches. It's due out in early 2018.
Xbox will also get the console-exclusive launch of MMORPG Black Desert Online. State of Decay 2 made an appearance via a gameplay trailer which showed a group of survivors banding together before the trailer closed on a player choice. We got a look at base customization, looting, and the tough choices players will need to make to survive the apocalypse. Don't fret, you won't have to make those tough choices for a little while, as State of Decay 2 launches spring 2018.
Of course, it wouldn't be a Microsoft presser without Minecraft, and the big news for this one is that the game now features crossplay across all platforms. That's right, every device on the planet that has Minecraft will now be able to play with every other device that has Minecraft. There's also a super duper graphics pack coming this fall that adds reflections, God rays, and 4K support. And that's all free.
Oh boy, there's so much more.
I know! How long is this? Is this like 20 minutes?
On the stylish front, we saw a brief trailer for The Last Night, a cyberpunk game that mixes lush, high-fidelity visuals and lighting with pixel art characters.
It totally looks like Gemini Rue, and I am on board.
Hot on its heels was a platformer with a paper character who wields a magical guitar called The Artful Escape.
Vampire action game Code Vein got another look in that showed off more gorgeous visuals and a release date of 2018. The game that shouldn't be nearly as fun as it is, Rare's multiplayer pirate adventure Sea of Thieves, got a brand new gameplay trailer that included all sorts of shenanigans like exploring a sunken ship and an overgrown island, finding treasure, and fending off sharks and skeletons.
The gameplay demo also introduced trading and shooting yourself out of a cannon, because why not? In less cool news, Sea of Thieves has been delayed until early 2018, but Tacoma, a stylish sci-fi game from Gone Home developer Fulbright, got a release date of August 2nd. Swings and roundabouts.
Microsoft showed off a gameplay trailer for the bright and colourful platformer Super Lucky's Tale, which will arrive exclusively on Xbox One on November 7. And the perpetually unreleased Cuphead finally got a release date of September 29. Finally!
In things that make press conferences better, a trailer featuring Terry Crews introduced Crackdown 3, and the bright neon gunshots were plentiful. We also got the news that the shooter will arrive on November 7. How is there still more?
Shadow of War, the sequel to Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, then took the spotlight. The highlight definitely being Bruce the Aussie Orc.
Right lord, dark lord. Same thing really.
There will be 7 orc tribes in the sequel, as well as a greatly expanded open world.
You'll be able to forge an army of followers and assault Nemesis fortresses. Unfortunately, the gameplay demo ended just before Talion's assault, but you'll be able to play Shadow of War for yourself on October 8.
In things that excite me, we got our first proper look at an older and presumably wiser Max in Life is Strange Before the Storm. And the wait isn't too bad either, as the first episode of 3 will arrive on August 31st.
And the sequels didn't stop there. Get your feels in check, because Ori and the Will of the Wisps is on the way with gorgeous music, lovely visuals, and touching critters. No release date for that one yet though.
Microsoft was so not done with the surprises though, as the gigantic cheer of the show so far was won by the news that original Xbox games, including Crimson Skies, will now be included in Xbox One backwards compatibility.
So that's everything for Microsoft. Stick with us, because we will be covering every press conference for E3.
And do remember to pick up the GameSpot Now app, which is free on iOS and Android, so you don't miss out on any of the news. We will see you again later for Bethesda.
It's E3 2017. I am Rob, joined here with Jean-Luc. Jean-Luc, we played Battlefront 2 on PC and had a pretty good time.
Yeah.
But we were thinking about the last game, and namely, the fact that the last game felt so messy and random and unorganized compared to like what our experience was with this game today.
Right, yeah, and I think the big thing with that game was there were no classes. You know, as a player, there was no sense of objective or role within your team. There was no reason to coordinate with anyone else on your team. In this game, they have clearly defined classes. You can play an officer, you can put down turrets, you can assist your allies, you can be a specialist where you have a gun that lets you shoot from a distance. You can see allies, you can point them, or see enemies, you can point them out to your allies. So you have just a reason to actually like communicate with your teammates, like tell them what to do and actually like coordinate attacks, which really just adds to that sense of teamwork.
Yeah. And you're looking at now, opposed to the last game, which had just the partner system, you're looking at your entire four-person group, right? And if you guys are grouped together, you're getting battle points. It raises, right? Your battle point system raises as long as you're grouped together, moving around. And then, yeah, of course, you said, like, you're switching around classes. Maybe you have too many support classes. Well, why doesn't someone be an officer? So that was really notable. And then I would say the weapons was another complaint from the last game. Here, they felt so much more diverse with, you know, your SMG, high fire rate, low damage, your support classes that had these, like, bulking machine guns that you could just post up in, like, a doorway and just hose down. And what I found actually really cool was the fact that certain weapons had different types of active reloads.
Right.
Where you have, namely like a rifle, it seemed to have, you know, the red area where if you hit the red, obviously you're gonna cancel your reload. You hit the yellow, you're gonna get that quick reload. But then the green, you know, could be a damage boost or maybe a fire rate increase. It brings a lot of unique and different traits to each of these weapons, and I found that very awesome. And then for me, one of my favorite surprises with the starships was the fact that you could finally roll left to right. In the previous game, you were very much locked on like horizontal planes, so when you're getting into like a flip and a dive, it was so frustrating to get out of it. Here you are consistently able to like level your plane and figure out where you are as far as like the horizon. And that was just so gratifying because I've always wanted that. Battlefield 1 had that. It gives more meaning to being a pilot and of course interacting comfortably with ground targets. That was great. And the other main thing was the fact that the previous game didn't have a health regen. You know, you would get in a dogfight, say you win, you have 5% health left. The next interaction you have, you're done. There is no point of like flying around with 5% health. Here you're able to, you know, with a Naboo starfighter, hit that droid and get a, you know, a quick revive with your health, or you can just, you know, hang around maybe on the outskirts and have your health regen. So that was really great.
Yeah, and the ships themselves feel like they have much more of a defined role as well this time around. In the original game, you weren't really able to interact much with the ground. It was random when you got a ship, so it felt like you weren't contributing much to the overall team objective. And this, you can, with the battle point system, you can choose to be, I'm gonna be someone who focuses on playing as a starfighter, as flying around. You can shoot at the objective, you can shoot enemies, you can help your teammates out. And so I feel like as a pilot, you're able to contribute to your overall team.
Totally. John, you were also mentioning the rush feel and the operations almost of this game mode being much more like, more of a narrative compared to like, oh, it's just like Walker Assault.
You'd have like a commander who's talking to you and just saying like, okay, we need to hold our ground, we need to take out this tank, and then like, okay, they got through, we need to push back, we need to hold here. And just having that extra layer of tiny story just like adds like weight to what you're doing, where in the previous game, it was like, you're on Hoth, Walker Assault. You've seen the movie, you know what this is.
Right.
Like, just having that little bit of story like really helps.
In position despite severe damage. Terminate escort program and begin combat cycle. Phase 2 begins shortly.
I also quite enjoyed the objective itself. Like at the beginning, it reminded me a lot of Battlefield's rush mode, where it's like, you know, one side's defending, the other side's attacking, and linear push. So in the first wave, the droids had this giant troop transport that they are trying to deliver, and as the clones, you have to like pick up these ion cannons and try and like target and shoot it down. And I wasn't able to get it shot down, but I believe if you do that, it probably ends the match early, I assume.
Yeah.
But they were able to like get all the way through, and then they blow open the door to the palace. And at that point, you have to then hold these different sections of the palace, and then if they take that, you then go all the way to the throne room. Each area felt like distinct in what you're doing.
Absolutely. It felt like a refined version of the Death Star DLC from the previous game, which was like these phases, yet you're going into actually different matches that are disconnected. This one was all-encompassing. You felt like, yeah, you're playing one solid match with, yeah, more of like a narrative progression.
Drone, we can't reclaim the area. Joined by a captain.
So yeah, ultimately, Battlefront 2 is looking pretty good. I am excited. I was a little surprised. Yeah, I'm excited to see more, really. We just saw this one map on Feed. But yeah, stay tuned to GameSpot for more Battlefront 2 coverage. Thanks.
See ya.
We already knew that Microsoft's upcoming console was going to deliver 6 teraflops of GPU performance, but with the company's E3 press conference out of the way, we actually learned a couple new things about the system. We're going to walk you through them right now. So, Michael, one of the first things that we learned about the system is actually the name. It's no longer called Project Scorpio, it's called
the Xbox One X.
Yeah, what do you think about the title?
It makes sense in terms of keeping it within the family of Xbox consoles. So we have the Xbox One S, which is the standard console, and the Xbox.
We also the price,
which is $499.
That's pretty expensive. What do you think about the price?
It kind of aligns with my predictions and a lot of other people's predictions just because of how much power this thing is packing into one console. It makes sense that it's $499, but I think the interesting part is like, how is that going to compete with the PS4 Pro, which is $100 cheaper? It may be even lower.
Yeah, it seems like it's more powerful though.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's way more powerful.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the internet right now is saying that it's very expensive. If you want something cheaper, there is the Xbox One S. We also got its release date, which is
November 7th.
Yeah, so it's coming out this holiday season.
Yeah, they promised to deliver it within the holiday season, and it seems that they are going to be delivering on that promise.
Yeah. And then finally, we got a look at what, you know, the console looks like. You know, what did you think of
yes,
that?
This, for me, I thought this was one of the more impressive parts, was they said this is the smallest Xbox console to date. So not only is it way more powerful, it's also compacted into the smaller chassis to be able to do that.
Yeah,
is
it's
impressive.
Smaller than the Xbox One S, which is, you know, approximately 40% smaller than the Xbox One.
So they've really shrunk their size.
It looks
of
like
their
a
consoles.
smaller black version of the Xbox One S.
Yeah, and it's sleek. You probably fit it anywhere in your home entertainment system. So, you know, that was one of the cooler parts of the Microsoft conference.
You know, while Microsoft is pitching the console as a 4K capable system, the company also said that it's going to be making improvements to 1080p gaming as well. You're going to get faster load times, anisotropic filtering, and super sampling. Do you mind walking users through what some of those things are?
Well, yeah. Super sampling is if you're in a 1080p display, it'll essentially be the image will render in like a higher
4K
resolution.
or higher than 1080p.
Yeah, and then be condensed so the image quality is much more fine. So people who don't have 4K displays will still reap some benefits. You know, we saw the games running in 4K throughout the whole press conference, and I never really saw any like massive frame drops. You know, I don't think everything was running at a steady 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
But rendering 4K is a feat within itself.
It's very graphic.
And yeah, and nothing looked framey, nothing looked like choppy. Overall, with all the games they showed off, from like AAA titles to the indie titles, like look great. Overall, I'm impressed. I think this is what Microsoft needed to do. Looks all good to me.
Gotcha. Yeah, it seems like it's a console that you can get if you have a 1080p screen now, and then you can get some benefits that way, and then later if you wanted to, you can upgrade to a 4K TV and like, you know, continue to get better benefits.
Right.
And then the last thing is, you know, the console, you know, by itself is fine, but what about the games? You know, what did you think about the games? They showed, you know, Assassin's Creed Origins, I think it was called. Metro, what was it, Exodus?
Yeah, Metro
which
Exodus.
I thought looked amazing.
Yep.
What did you think about the, you know, the lineup of games and how they looked?
Okay, well, in terms of the lineup, I was super hyped up to see Metro Exodus and see it running. It looked really smooth too, because Metro has a long history of being one of the more graphically demanding games with 2033 and Last Light.
Yeah.
And now this one, it seems like it's going to be in that same line of impressively
rendered.
Yeah. And
I mean, it looks gorgeous running at 4K. It's on a console, unbelievable.
Yeah, on a console,
unprecedented.
At 4K, it looked really smooth. And to see, you know, other games like Shadow of War, Assassin's Creed, you know, they look great too. They're also rendering 4K. The only thing was some of the lighting, maybe some of the textures weren't on par with what we would see if we cranked a PC version all the way up to Ultra, which is fine. I mean, I'm not going to expect a console to run 4K and like super fine textures all at the same time, but they ran smooth, which is, I think, is the most important part for me.
Yeah, it looked playable. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to us on YouTube. Thank you for watching.
Bethesda started off their press conference this year in style with a real-life Bethesda land. There was Vault Boy statues, Revenant statues, and a Ferris wheel. I missed it all, but what I didn't miss was the video games. Usually Jess would be here to help me out, but she was hosting our live stream. And speaking of which, make sure you're subscribed so you see all of our news coming out of E3. But for now, let's dig into it. Everything Bethesda spoke about at their showcase will be coming out this year, and they started off with 2 virtual reality games. If you can handle the motion sickness, Doom is bringing massive guns to your virtual Space Marine gauntlets and plenty of baddies to point them at with Doom VFR. Gates of Hell not your speed? You'll be able to walk the wasteland, build settlements, and battle super mutants in Fallout 4 VR when it launches this October. It's worth noting that the entire game will be playable in VR. Speaking of Fallout, there'll be a steady stream of new content for both it and Skyrim via the newly announced Creation Club. Things like new armor, weapons, and gameplay enhancements made by Bethesda and collaborating outside creators will all be purchasable with coins when the service arrives this summer on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. If you're playing Elder Scrolls Legends, then good news! The card game is getting Dark Brotherhood story content, in-game tournaments, and a Chaos Arena. Most excitingly, a Heroes of Skyrim expansion will hit the game on the 29th of June when it arrives on iOS and Android. So soon! Let's keep that Skyrim train a-rolling. The long-awaited Nintendo Switch version of Skyrim was shown off along with some very Nintendo features. You'll be able to cosplay in Link's Breath of the Wild tunic as well as wield the Master Sword by tapping your Link amiibo. There are also motion controls for swords, shields and bows, which looks pretty damn cool. Unfortunately, no concrete release date has been announced for this one yet, but keep an eye on Nintendo's press conference for that. Dishonored 2 is getting some DLC in the form of Death of the Outsider. It stars the quest giver from the main game, Megan Foster, as she teams up with Dowd from the original Dishonored's Knife of Dunwall DLC. The pair appear to be teaming up to kill the Outsider, the source of the character's powers. Megan Foster looks to be every bit as formidable as Emily in Corvo 2, as she teleports through walls and skulks around behind enemies. The DLC is set for release on September 15. Bethesda also used their showcase to position Quake Champions as a major esport. They announced a sponsored competition for August 26 during QuakeCon that will have a $1 million prize. If you want to get some practice in, the beta has been reopened indefinitely and you can sign up on the website right now. Go, 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 go! Bethesda closed their 2017 showcase with 2 new games, The Evil Within 2 and Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. The Evil Within 2 will launch on October 13 this year and is being developed by the devs of the original Tango Gameworks. It was revealed via a cinematic trailer that looks as psychologically freaky as you'd expect from Resident Evil creator Shinji Mikami. The protagonist from the first game is returning, this time in the hopes of rescuing his daughter. Closing out the show was Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus, and it just might be my favourite reveal. After a fake TV show about a girl and a giant robot dog, BJ Blazkowicz was revealed to be still alive and Nazis have taken over America. There's rideable robot dogs, crazy dual-wielding weapons, and a comrade who drops acid. Yep, it's more of the same crazy action machine game started with the New Order. And you won't have to wait long to play it, as it releases on October 27 this year. BJ will also make the jump to Quake Champions, where he'll have his own attributes and voice lines. So that's Bethesda for this year. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for Ubisoft and Sony, and make sure you grab the GameSpot Now app so you can get the top 10 news stories of the day delivered straight to your phone. We will see you tomorrow.
Dowd, it's good to see you, old man.
You up for one last job, Billy?
Who's the mark?
The black-eyed bastard responsible for all the chaos.
Here you go, Peggy. There's everything your mother ordered and a ration card. And here's a lakritz schnecker just for you.
Wow. Gee, thanks, Mr. Wilson.
Hey, Peggy.
Hi, Bill.
Get it off. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna get you out.
Get it off.
Hang on, I'm gonna get you out of there. Hang on, buddy. Just hang on.
Lizzo, help!
Look out!
Good girl, Lizzo. Bravo, Hoon. Lizzo, no! No! Stop it, Lizzo! No, that's enough, Lizzo! Lizzo! Bad girl.
Good nutrition is a matter of state security.
Wunderbar soldier who ever lived.
Power of thunder!
Welcome back to round 3. Now is where it gets really exciting on America's #1 game show. Okay, hands on your buzzers. Here we go.
The Honorable, you must exercise self-control.
Illegal.
Darker shame, darling, darker shame. Thank you for all the joy and pain. Picture show, second balcony was the place we'd meet. Second seat, go Dutch treat, you were sweet.
The old and the weak are doomed.
William, I prayed for you to wake up. says we're having twins.
Frau Engel. She's been hunting for you. She's been moving heaven and earth, and today she found you.
You think your hero, William Joseph Lescotch?
Monsters did this.
Not monsters. Men.
Have you taken your German lessons?
Hello?
Come on, Peter, let's go someplace else. Mom, no buts!
Oh! Bitteschön.
Danke.
You, one strawberry milkshake, please. Oh, I hope you don't have a fire back there to put out. If so, I'll come back another time.
I'm sure the fire can wait, Commandant. One strawberry milkshake coming right up.
Fireman, I recognize your face. Very Aryan face it is, too. Are you out of Station 1?
There you go, Commandant.
Oh, vielen Dank. Now you. Show me your identification papers. Please.
We gotta put the fighting spirit back in the American people.
You shoot on Max! Smile!
Just who the fuck are you, white boy?
Stay calm. Let me first make it absolutely clear that I am not a Nazi.
What you say? You say you're Nazi?
Oh, fuck this.
Motherfucker!
Let me say this again. I ain't no goddamn Nazi.
Hey! Now you bring Super Spesh back in and you put him down right now, or I will shove this grenade so far up your ass.
Lady, I got precious little time for your bullshit. We've been trying to make contact with your group. We're organizing for a revolution in America.
We? Shit!
Take cover!
Relax, man. It's just a duck. Oh,
bitch got a sick sense of humor.
For the longest time, I've been hearing through the grapevine about this resistance. Leader named Horton.
You know, my ma always said, never trust a man can't handle his whiskey. So you sit right down, say Terror-Billy, and drink up.
Oh, goddamn.
Now listen, Terror-Billy, I respect your ambition, but there's nothing can be done no more. The world has sank into the crapper, and all we can do now is drink this whiskey and watch the vortex suck it all down.
Didn't expect your belly to be quite so yellow.
We stood up against the imperialist war machine of the United States of America and the greedy money men of Wall Street who was itching to send the children of the proletariat off to die in foreign lands so that they could be filling their coffers. It weren't their sons bleeding on the beaches.
I got kids on the way. And I'll be damned if I'm gonna raise them in a world run by these Nazi assholes.
You take freedom away from the American people, you're playing with fire. And I intend to pour some gasoline.
as I try to make my way to the ordinary world, I will learn to survive.
Hey everyone, welcome back to GameSpot's E3 stage. We are prepping for Ubisoft's press conference in about half an hour, but we here on the GameSpot staff figured we'd get together and talk about our predictions for the show. I'm your host, Mike Mahardy, here with Callie Plagge.
Hello.
Dave Jewett.
Hello.
And Matt Espinelli.
Hi.
So I want to jump right into it so we don't waste any time. Callie, you saw Assassin's Creed Origins yesterday, 2 days ago?
It's all blurring together.
Yeah, a couple days ago, and you got to play it, but we also saw it, they showed it off during Microsoft's conference, which was a bit odd because, like, Ubisoft hadn't gone yet, but of course that still happens. But I do want to talk about Assassin's Creed Origins because this is the first one after they took a year off, right? What were your impressions overall so far?
Oh, well, it's interesting. They're definitely shifting towards more of an action RPG. There's a skill tree. The combat is very Dark Souls-esque, so it feels sort of like a refresh or a reinvention of Assassin's Creed in a lot of ways, and I think that makes a lot of sense with the whole Origins theme. It's about like the how the Brotherhood got together, and I think that one of the strongest things about the demo I played for about an hour, was exploring this take on ancient Egypt. It's really rich. NPCs kind of have their own day-night cycles. They operate on their own terms, and like you could have a hit out on somebody and only to find them dead, killed by a crocodile, and then you complete your quest, and the hit was taken care of for you. And so it's a moving world, at least from what I saw, and so I was really intrigued by that. It seems more alive. So I'm excited for it.
So does it feel like they're almost going for more the emergent style of kind of like, I don't know, like Far Cry games had that, right? Where you could be like hunting someone, but then a tiger would come out of nowhere and kill them for you, but then it would also hunt you, and then you'd try to flamethrow it, and the grass would all light on fire, and you'd be screwed.
Yeah, it actually was a lot like that. You just saw it there. I fought a crocodile underwater. and it just randomly attacked my boat and sunk it, and there was just some cool stuff going on like that. And I'm not really a big Assassin's Creed person, so I like to have a reason. And I'm such a huge Egypt nerd. I was like one of those kids who loved ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
And so I was already kind of on board with this. And after playing it, it reminded me a lot of Horizon, just in how the quest structure works and the skill tree. So I'm excited.
Cool. Yeah, it is like, I think it's worth noting, obviously. Like, they took last year off, which was nice because I feel like a lot of people felt like Assassin's Creed was kind of, they're getting burnt out on it. The last one being Syndicate, which also released alongside Rogue, was it? The one that was 360 PS3?
No, that was Unity and Rogue.
Unity and Rogue, and then Syndicate was London the year after, which was 2015. And it was nice that they took a year off because maybe, you know, like they had some time to revamp some of it. But of course we saw the combat in that Microsoft press conference demo. And it seems much more like free-flowing combat, and it's not just the attack and counter. It's like, people are making Dark Souls comparison, but I get it. Like it's the attacks are mapped to your shoulder buttons apparently, and then also like you have to read the enemy's attacks and like dodge it accordingly or parry it with your shield. It gave like a Dark Souls flavor, although it's not a Dark Souls game at all. But the combat itself felt like it.
Yeah, there definitely seems to be more of a sense of reacting as opposed to constantly acting, which is basically what Syndicate's combat system was, just based on a lot of button mashing.
Sure.
Really. So.
Yeah, there wasn't much weight to when you swung weapons in like the last few Assassin's Creed. It felt like someone, I forgot who it was, said last night, it felt like you were just swiping at air. But it seems like there's a lot more weight to it this time around, and kind of like, I don't know, I prefer to play these games in a stealthy way, but like now I'm looking at it, there's the 3 skill trees, like Hunter, Warrior, and Seer.
Yeah.
Seer, what is that, like
Seer
mage kind of?
Yeah, it's the most nebulous of the 3 categories. It's like sort of like a mage. It's like smoke screens and fire resistance and stuff like that.
Cool.
But they all interlock actually, so it's really interesting. You can kind of overlap and blend. So if you like sneaky archer in Skyrim kind of thing, you can do that. If you want to go full stealth, you can do that.
Cool.
And the combat does have a lot more weight. I played a boss fight, and it was a lot of dodging and parrying and reading.
Okay.
It was interesting.
So for people watching from home and like us who haven't played the game yet, do you think we'll see anything like brand new today?
Yeah, that's the weird thing about them showing it off at Microsoft.
Yeah.
This was like Ubisoft's big, I mean, obviously it leaked so much, and this was the big surprise. Or it would have been. So I'm not exactly sure. I really hope they show a little bit more, maybe something story related.
Yeah.
The demo we saw was there was one story mission we got to do, and it was very limited. So I'm hoping maybe they'll show something with that, because the trailer we got yesterday was so combat heavy.
Right, like even something about the protagonist would be good.
Yeah.
We know like bare bones skeletons.
He's the last Magi.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Okay. Cool. I'm excited for Assassin's Creed Origins, but I do want to move on because there's a bunch of things we know we'll probably see. We'll definitely see Far Cry 5. That came out. The cover was revealed a month or 2 ago at this point now. It's been a while, I think, and stirred up like some questions about whether they're gonna make good use of this material that they're presenting. Montana in like radical Christian occupied Hope County, as it were, and you wonder how well they're going to use this story to its advantages. But the last Far Cry we played was Primal in the Stone Age, which felt like a reskin 3 and 4. I loved Primal actually, I liked it a lot. But this seems like they're kind of going for a very different flavor in terms of the story. Dave, what do you think they could show today that you think they'll just show straight up gameplay?
I'm hoping they'll do the Far Cry thing of like, hey, here's an objective that you can do, and here's a number of ways you can do it. Like there's always the stealthy approach, or throwing bombs onto a truck and driving in approach.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they'll do something like that, but I'd also like to see them explore the open world. We see a lot of like the driving stuff, the hunting stuff, going from like small town to small town. I'd be really excited to see that, or maybe just expand on some of the characters, because I think so far from what we've seen, they're some of the strongest draws for me. There's a lot of really interesting characters in this game so far, like the preacher. Can't remember his name exactly, but that kind of character archetype in this setting, and this like super creepy,
like a religious person forced to do bad things.
Yeah, right. That's badass. Like, I would like to see him just go on a rampage.
Sure. Yeah, and I really like where it's set actually. Like even outside of all the themes they're going for, I like that it's set in like a flyover state, we call them, you know, like which is pretty like insulting to people who live there. But but I'm excited to see how it shifts from this pastoral landscape to these fields, to seeing these like cows walking around, to coming across this baseball field that no one uses anymore under the occupation. We were drawing comparisons to the new Wolfenstein yesterday, just like occupied America, and obviously the Homefront games are obvious. You know, kind of parallels you could draw between them. But Matt, do you think like is there anything they'll show more of the characters? Do you think they'll focus pretty heavily on gameplay, like showing people that open world Far Cry structure, if it's intact, if it's new this time around, or what do you think they'll do?
Yeah, I definitely feel like they have to really shift more towards gameplay this time around. Because I mean, obviously we've seen some previews of what to expect out of the premise and
like a bunch of vignettes too. For
yeah, exactly. So I mean, I definitely have the feeling they're going to show off a lot of gameplay and how that works, but also potentially maybe they might. I'm hoping at least that they're going to show off something about how it's structured now. Because I mean, those previous Far Cries, in a way, they're very kind of inspired by some of the Assassin's Creed sort of design. You're going up on towers, looking at stuff in order to unlock sort of activities to do. So I'm curious to see if they're going to reveal any details about how the game is structured.
Right. Yeah, that's the interesting thing too. Because I mean, it's weird. I keep thinking like, if there had been a number Far Cry game last year, or if there had been an Assassin's Creed, would I be as excited as I were for these two games? But I kind of am.
Yeah.
Once I saw the trailer and the tone they were going for with Far Cry 5, like I said, it remains to be seen. Like, Callie, I know you talk a lot about it. It remains to be seen whether they're actually going to make good use of this story, these themes. But once I saw the actual like action and kind of overall vibes taking place, I'm a little more excited for it. And I'm assuming, I think it'll just like fade from black on like the first person, someone has a gun, and then they're like, there's probably some good narration like about what they have to do, go like, and they'll grab some vehicle or do something and just show off the, like you guys said, the flow of the combat. And I'm looking forward to that. I feel like it'd be a missed opportunity if they didn't show a lot of that.
Right.
But then of course a game that was supposed to come out last December, but also before that, it got delayed a couple times. South Park.
Yeah.
Fractured Butthole.
The fractured.
You face stared at me grinning.
I love like screwing up the cadence of the name on purpose. No, the Fractured Butthole. We'll definitely see more of it. Kelly, wait, did you play that too? No. Did you? Oh no. Okay. No, okay. You played Assassin's Creed. Okay, but Fractured Butthole, I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing with it, because I'm actually interested in the gameplay of it. It's like more of a tactical combat.
Yeah.
The first game was like kind of a bare bones like RPG, party-based, turn-based. This one's more tactical on a grid and everything. I don't know. I also like just don't know what the hell's going to happen in this game, because you're picking a class in the last game, and I don't want to get into what happens, but it gets pretty South Park-ish.
Yeah.
But I like that the first one felt like one long South Park season. Kelly, are you like a South Park fan? Do you like?
I know more about South Park than I have any business knowing. I love South Park. My big thing with this is with Stick of Truth, I really liked the setting, like the basis in the episodes, right? Like the wizard kind of stuff. This is the Coon and Friends theme, so that's not really my favorite set of episodes. So I'm curious to see if it relies too much on existing South Park stuff, or if it's going to really have its own humor. I think Stick of Truth did that really well, so I'm hopeful.
Oh, what? Well, yeah, and it's also
fart.
like parodying the Avengers Civil War, right?
Yeah.
Superheroes like split down the middle, a schism.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell is happening.
I mean, that's the best. That's the best part. I don't want to know.
I'm assuming they'll show some. I'm actually looking forward to this. I'd love looking up like South Park YouTube clips. I feel like I'm gonna get the same vibe from this press conference.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I wonder where they would put it, because you go from the seriousness of Assassin's Creed to South Park and then back to Far Cry 5 doesn't seem tonally correct.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe Matt and Trey's just gonna storm the stage or something.
I would love that.
But it looks interesting what they're doing. Like it's like 12 classes or something ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
But like you mentioned the delays. I remember reading that there was a lot of speculation that it was delayed to rewrite a lot of jokes connected to that time period that you guys were having.
Yeah.
Concerning the election and stuff.
That time period, not like what's happening.
What's happening now?
Yeah, I read that on a forum and I was like, man,
that'd be awesome if
they're delaying a game just to get better jokes. That's got a huge amount.
To maybe have a new villain at the end of the game.
Yeah, right.
I legitimately forgot you were British for a second, and I was like, what is he talking about? No, you're talking about America. Okay.
Yeah, you guys. We've got our own stuff going on.
That would make the third Ubisoft game, or no, sorry, third game that's from this conference, EA or E3, that's tackling American problems.
But in the South Park way.
But in a South Park way, and then there's like the robot Nazi way, and then there's the just straight up Far Cry way. Yeah, do you guys think we'll see gameplay of this, or do you think they'll just come on with like a trailer of sorts?
I reckon we'll see gameplay and get a release date. Like it's about time. It's had a number of delays. People are hyped for it. And there's a lot of room for like the toilet humor.
Wait, we have a release date. It's October.
Oh yeah, of course. Sorry. Well, they'll definitely show gameplay then. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, now that it's kind of like cemented in.
Yeah.
I just really hope Matt and Trey are there.
They've got to be, surely.
Such a huge Matt and Trey fangirl. I want to see him.
Did they come on the stage for the first game?
They came out. Oh, I forget if it was last year or the year before, but there was an E3 where they came out, and I got real excited.
Our B-roll right now is killing it.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go. Cool. So moving on from South Park.
Jeez.
So on that day that Ubisoft kind of revealed that there's going to be a new Assassin's Creed, a new Far Cry, and then there's also like, The Crew 2 is happening. The Crew 1's kind of a disappointment. Matt, did you play The Crew 1 much?
I did not, unfortunately.
The idea of it sounded awesome, right? Like open world America, driving across it.
Yeah.
But it didn't really come to pass. I think we gave it a 5 out of 10 or something on GameSpot.
Yeah.
Cool ideas, but a lot of empty space. And it didn't really pan out like they'd hoped, I don't think. But The Crew 2, maybe they learned a lot from that game, and now maybe that they've had more time for it to percolate. It'll become better.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a good idea but you didn't get the execution right, a sequel is the right place to do that. So hopefully they figure it out with this one.
Yeah, I'm assuming we'll see a decent amount of The Crew 2.
I'm just not sure where it really sits, because we're gonna have the new Need for Speed, which never really takes itself seriously, and then we have like the simulator games like Gran Turismo and Forza
7. Yeah.
So I'd be curious to know if Crew wants to sit in between those, or it's gonna try and do its own thing. But like, it seems like suddenly we've just got a suite of races, so it needs to do something to really stand out. I think, especially like you're saying, after the lukewarmness of the previous game.
Yeah, if they want to make a sequel and make it a series, then they can't just do two.
The best
bad
maneuver would
games
be if they got a car on stage that was more expensive than the
Porsche.
The Porsche.
They had like half a million Bugatti on them. Like,
you're really good. or they brought like a Saturn up on stage and parodied
like
that.
a beat up three-reeler.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
So I want to get into some DLC things that we're likely to see. Matt, you've been playing a good deal of For Honor since it released in February?
Yes,
January,
yes.
February. Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah, that's right.
What do you think? You think we'll see the season? We're in season 2
We're season 2 right now, yeah.
You think they'll show off stuff for 3? New fighters, new places, new modes?
I mean, part of me thinks that maybe they might not, but I would really love to see more heroes, especially just kind of because, what was it? The last time we got a new heroes from the Samurai and the Knight class, but we never really got to see what they were kind of intending for, like, another hero in the Viking class. So I'm like really interested in what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
And also just like maybe just like if they could like maybe provide some more details of what's coming up in the Horizon that we can all get excited about, because the last major thing was sort of season 2 and sort of those details. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Game,
so did season 2 do much to revamp it, or was it just like more to play with?
It was just more to play with, definitely. But that said, I mean, the characters, the new heroes are definitely sort of this focus and highlight of the game. So. It was substantial in that form to me.
You know what would be really cool if they actually, I don't think they would do this because it's kind of got a good balance now, if they introduce like a 4th faction.
That would
overall,
be cool.
Because we have Samurai, Vikings, Knights right now. I can't even think what the 4th one would be. Jedi?
Cool war. Yeah, definitely Jedi.
Star Wars here.
What
I have no idea.
Epic warrior class would that be?
Yeah.
Make that
maybe like
crazier.
Mongol tribe sort of style, like nomads.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that would be quite cool.
Totally.
Seems pretty balanced with 3 factions right now.
True. I mean, that would be adding a bit too much. But.
Yeah.
And it's only been 2 seasons, so why, reinvent the wheel right now?
From what I've seen, the player base has kind of trickled off a little bit, so I think they need to inject some adrenaline into it.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed For Honor, but then I played it for like a month, and then I felt no cause to play anymore.
I think it's a fantastic game, yeah, but it would be nice to have reasons to come back to it outside of just the joy of playing it, because there's a lot there. But came out right before a slew of like 8 fantastic games this year. That and Resident Evil kind of beat that like rush of games. But yeah, and then I just never went back to it. So maybe like they would introduce stuff that did.
That's the thing. The community evolved so fast as well. I took a week off the game, and then all of a sudden the meta was completely different. I found it really inaccessible, and that was just
like, why the hell are you using an assassin? What do you? That's like the Hanzo main.
Oh yeah.
I actually don't know. Are there characters now that are? Are there characters now?
At the time of playing, there was like a super unbalanced character. I think it was the Viking that could like just charge people off. And
yeah,
that was one of the samurai who was like really awful to play against, and apparently they balanced it. But
do you think a new faction would remedy that or make it harder for you to get back in?
I don't know. Like a new faction would mean like way more balancing.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be a good start if they're doing it right, and they can if they do it similar way they did Rainbow Six Siege and really like slow drip feed it. That
right. Speaking of Rainbow Six Siege, expecting the DLC for that as well to be shown off. What's it called? There's like a weird name to it. It'll come.
Violet something.
What's that?
Is it Violet something?
Velvet. Velvet something. Yeah, and there will be, this is actually a good game to look at when you're talking about For Honor, because I think the player base doubled since release, like a year after.
Yeah, they've supported it really well.
And like introducing the new hero class, whatever you want to call them, new operators. You have that, like, they came out and everybody kind of reinvigorated the game every time, and people are really dedicated to this game. It's a really good game. I like it a lot, and I would like to see, this DLC's not major, but it's something that they'll probably show because the community around Siege has been so active. I don't know, Dave, when's the last time you played? Have you been playing?
I played it a bunch at launch. I haven't really got back into it just because it's one of those things that if you've got a squad of pals that you play it with, and they don't really play anymore, that kind of lost it for me. But I could see myself getting back into Siege. I've got such an appreciation for like a solid tactical-based shooter, and it's kind of refreshing to do that after like I play tons of Overwatch, which is very kind of just twitch shooting. Playing a shooter that I really have to think about is always refreshing. But I think it's just like huge props to them for supporting it the way they've done. Like I know they did a big update that was a change to the matchmaking quite recently. So I think they just they deserve like major props for that, just for keeping this game alive and like exciting. And they've supported like esports leagues, which have actually blown up way more than I thought they would.
Yeah.
So it'd be exciting to see more of that, and really like I'd play again. Yeah.
So Velvet Shell was the DLC that released a few months ago. Right. We'll see what happens tonight when Ubisoft takes the stage. And then Wildlands DLC. I didn't even play Wildlands, honestly.
I've not played Wildlands.
And I wish I did, but I'm assuming we will see something from that. I know like Aaron Sampson and a few people in our office played a decent amount of it, and it was a good game. Like open world kind of co-op.
It didn't grab me, but yeah, if they introduced DLC.
So you're saying it came out in that moment where there was already a lot going on.
Yeah. Weird timing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of at a point where I wanted to get into it, and I played the beta, but I think my beta impressions were a little lackadaisical to the point where I wasn't excited for the full release. But then I heard decent things about it, and I like the idea of like it's almost like an open world or a co-op Far Cry, in the sense that you're kind of tackling objectives how you want, and in this open world in Colombia, I think, stand in, and then just taking out the cartel. It seems like something I'd want to play if it wasn't, didn't release among this slew of other games.
Well, that's the cool thing about DLC, though, is like if the timing for both this and, For Honor, like we talked about earlier, was weird or not great for us, like introducing DLC is a good reason to revisit it. At a time that's it's slowed down a little bit as far as like I think we've all kind of started catching up with a lot of the games.
Yeah. I'm assuming in terms of DLC, they have that's like a trifecta of potential DLCs.
That's usually the pattern.
What'd you say?
It's usually the pattern, like the 3 DLCs.
Oh, yeah. Right. I thought you said usually in Japan.
I mean,
why would we not get this DLC? Cool, yeah. And then, of course, Matt, you're a Beyond Good and Evil fan, right?
I did play the first one, yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys think we'll see 2 finally, or no?
Crossing my fingers for it. I mean, I think they confirmed that it wasn't going to be shown. But
yeah, Michelle Ancel was
maybe they'll just totally underhandedly be like, oh no, it's right here.
So it was 2009 when that cinematic, I think this is it. 2009 they showed it with Pig and
time ago now thinking about it. But yeah, I mean that game has been in development for so long, and to hear that they are going full in on it is great. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to see more about from that world, because the first game was just this really underappreciated gem that really deserved to be iterated upon again. And so seeing more of the sequel would make my E3 to some extent.
What a, what a cool bait and switch that would be to be like, no, it's not going to be here, and then surprise at the end of the conference.
Just a double bluff.
Yeah.
That would be
So
great.
many layers of bluffing.
Yeah.
There was that gameplay they showed too, where the character Jade, she was like parkouring through that village, and now it looks dated, but at the time everybody's excited because, you know, it's a cult classic, I guess. I played Beyond Good and Evil, and I have to say this, and I'll confess, I don't get it.
What?
I don't get why people like it so much.
The only connection I have to Beyond Good and Evil is that I asked for it for Christmas when it first came out, and my mum bought me the wrong game, and then I never.
Oh
got it.
man, she pulled a Marge Simpson on you?
It was something. It wasn't like, you know, Lee Carvello's putting challenge. It was just a completely different game.
Well,
so I was like, all right, I'll never play this then.
Why is it just like is it a Half-Life 3 thing where people it's just like a urban
Like a white whale?
myth?
Yeah.
Right,
You'll never get, or like why should I like the first game even though I don't?
I mean, at the time when it came out, it just had this very interesting aesthetic to it. I mean, it was very sort of dystopian, but it had a more cartoonish style as well. And I guess it had these elements that are kind of similar. I wouldn't say like, I mean, I guess like kind of Zelda-esque to some extent. It just at the time was refreshing in a way. When compared to a lot of like during that time, a lot of big games were just sort of these AAA platformers, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why it really appealed to me, or why it spoke to me during that time.
Yeah. So time will tell if we actually see it. I don't think we'll see it tonight or today.
That's fair.
But I do want to get into kind of predictions or even just like dreams about what's going to happen. I'll go first. I want to. It's been how many years now? 3 or 4 or 5 since we saw the last Splinter Cell. And you look at Wildlands is just released. Siege is really healthy. You see like actually Tom Clancy properties are doing really well. You had The Division come out as a new IP. Feels like it would be the time for a new Splinter Cell.
I'd be surprised if we didn't see something with Tom Clancy name attached to it.
And Splinter Cell is the one, it's outside of DLC, Splinter Cell is the one existing that I can think of that they would show off.
I can't imagine they'd do like future advanced warfare, and like you said, it seems like the right time for another Splinter Cell. Like, Metal Gear Solid has been and gone, which is fantastic, and that really re-sparked the love for these stealth games to me. So I would adore another Splinter Cell, and the last one was like terrific. Like, it's co-op modes and stuff.
I like Blacklist, yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. I played tons of that. So if they can really build on that and use some of what they've learned, and maybe some of the new stealth mechanics that new stealth games are like having open world stuff.
Metal Gear Solid is like in a post Metal Gear Solid world. It'd be cool to see, and no one else has really tackled the open world stealth game since. I mean, you have like light stealth elements in Far Cry games or Wildlands, but Metal Gear Solid 5 was a stealth game in an open world, and it'd be cool to see if like Splinter Cell could take it there. But at the same time, I wouldn't even mind a really fine-tuned linear Splinter Cell either.
True. I mean, it would be refreshing in its own way compared, because we have Metal Gear, but like even then, just like to see how Splinter Cell will be able to, because they've always been back then. There was this sort of competition between those two franchises to some extent. And so I'd love to see a new Splinter Cell. I've been a huge fan of that series for a long time. And plus, I think it would be also great if they got Michael Ironside back again.
Is there like, am I mistaken thinking there was a tweet or something? Does he tweet?
Michael Ironside?
Yeah.
I don't know if he does. I need to follow him.
No, but like I could
voice.
have sworn like there was some sort of like rumor recently that he might want to reprise it. Maybe I'm thinking of like David Hayter.
No, I think I heard
like
about
Snake.
that same thing. I feel like I heard
Doubt
about
though.
Sam.
Yeah, I've no idea.
But yeah.
So do you think you'd like to see them? Because like Blacklist kind of, you could go down like there's those 3 different mission types, and then you have like the carrier hub or the plane or whatever you're on. But you could also go down like these assault missions, and then you can go down the ones where you can't be seen, and then the co-op ones. Do you think you'd like to see them tackle a branching structure like that, or something more like Chaos Theory fine-tuned stealth game?
Well,
I think Chaos Theory is the best one.
Right.
I really like the branching structure, because when I play Splinter Cell, I always go non-lethal, full stealth. But that branching structure gave me an opportunity to be like, okay, I can use some of the guns that the game has built, but I've only ever used like the tranquilizer gun. So that was really refreshing, because I got a chance to play. It kind of forced me to play in a different way without penalizing me. So like again, that could be fun. Like, but it's really the open world I think would really rejuvenate Splinter Cell and bring it to like the current gaming like space.
Yeah. And then What about the Rabbids? We've been hearing the rumor of this game for a while now, right? That they were coming back.
I just
Mario Rabbids Battle Kingdom.
Battle Kingdom. Yeah.
I just want to say that my wildest dream for this conference is that that's not real. They go, we were kidding. Sorry about that horrible image that was on your Twitter feed for an entire day. We're so sorry. It's not happening. Something about Rabbids makes me mad.
It's like a version of the Minions.
Yes, they're like Minions. That horrible like picture of like Rabbids Peach taking a selfie like made me want to die. So I just really don't.
People like these Rabbids.
I don't like it.
I'm not speaking for them, but people want a Rabbids game.
Rabbids on Switch.
You know,
yeah.
I think I don't know if I heard this from the right thing, but I think I heard that it has RPG, like it's more of an RPG than anything, like a Mario RPG.
Yeah, like
no,
Mario RPG.
Don't do a Mario RPG, but Rabbids.
In Mario, like Mario's got like a gun and he got to plan how he shoots it and stuff. I don't know.
All right, I think I read
no.
that. I'm into it. Anything else? What am I missing? There's a couple I'm missing.
Just Dance.
Just Dance.
Oh, they'll have the dance.
I mean, that'll be a thing.
Yeah. Will they do it on stage?
I would be really surprised if they didn't. That's kind of their thing.
I think my negative dream is that they don't.
Just Dance makes like
we all have.
We all have one that we
I don't
wish
have
was not
Just
real.
Dance. I've never played Just Dance. I can't dance.
Yeah.
But
no, they're well-made games from what I hear.
Apparently that game
They're fun.
makes bank for them. So I'd be surprised if they didn't have like a weird dance number. And push
I'm not going to get it unless I get a Rabbids DLC down the road, though.
You could dance as a rabbit.
Yeah. No, that's the deal maker.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
those games are fun. It's a good workout. Like I'd be shocked if they didn't have something.
Yeah. Outside of those, like we have Assassin's Creed coming back, we have Far Cry coming back, we have, all the Tom Clancy games are doing well. Like I would love a Splinter Cell. I think that's my wish. But is there anything else?
Steep 2, Steep harder.
Steep. Alex Newhouse on our staff here is like a big Steep fan.
And like a
Weirdly
reluctant Steep fan. I think he said he had 90 hours in Steep, which is more than like the
That's
rest of the world.
He's gonna rush the stage in like 5 seconds, but yeah, he said one of the DLCs around Christmas was you get to use a toboggan.
Oh wait, that's
like
actually really cute.
like Calvin and Hobbes, I guess. But
That's cute.
do you want Steep DLC?
I mean, I haven't played Steep. Maybe I should try it. Maybe Alex, there's something to it.
I wish he was on stage right now. I'd make fun of him.
Steep
on Switch.
What, like Joy-Con in each hand?
Right, yeah. I need Switch support.
Yeah, there you go.
Ubisoft's gonna bring anything to the Switch.
Maybe the Rabbids.
Well, yeah, clearly. Mario Rabbids exist,
well.
they would have to. But then maybe Nintendo's gonna announce it.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Maybe. I mean, well, last year Ubisoft ran so much. It was like so much longer than anyone expected, so they could completely surprise us. And
yeah, there's the potential for just brand new IPs that we have no idea about, like not just existing franchises. So we have yet to see what they're actually going to announce. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Origins, Far Cry 5, South Park, The Fractured Butthole, Crew 2, For Honor, hopefully a Splinter Cell, but it sounds like a lot of DLC, but then, like returning sequels. We'll see a ton of Assassin's Creed. I think we'll see something new with Assassin's Creed outside of just like, obviously what they showed outside.
I hope so. I mean, it's their baby, right? They need to really give it some love.
Yeah. But as luck would have it, Ubisoft is starting right now, but if you're watching from home, stay tuned after, because you can watch the stream right here, but we're going to do a post-show as well and talk about what we saw. So we're going to switch over to that right now. See you later.
Hello, everyone, and thank you. We've always wondered what could happen if our crazy rabbits were unleashed upon the world of Mario. Today, The dream is reality. And to talk about this unexpected encounter, it is my great honor to welcome a very special guest, someone I truly admire. Please. Ladies and gentlemen, Miyamoto-san. Thank you for coming. You're so happy to have you today. So what have you brought with you?
Well,
what did you bring?
This is a life-size replica of one of the weapons from this game.
Wow. Cool, I'm sure you love it.
I brought one for you.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Wow. Woo. So let's take a picture.
David-san, he can help our conversation. これほら、ね、ゴーストリーコンのとちょっと違うでしょ?
These are a little bit different from the weapons you see in Ghost Recon.
可愛いでしょ?
Yeah, very different weapons for very different worlds. This one is, I think, very effective in the world of Mario and Rabbit. So, should do well. I'm so proud of Ubisoft's long-standing collaboration with Nintendo. You know, from the DS to the Wii, and more recently for the impressive launch of the Switch. You know, it has always been, we have always been inspired by Nintendo and by all the great work you have been able to do.
そうですね。本当にいつも UBI さんにはね協力いただいてありがとうございます。
Yes, thank you very much for all the work that we've been able to do together over the years with Ubisoft.
もうほら出会ってから25年ぐらい経つんですよね。
I mean, Yves, it's already been about 25 years since you and I first met.
で E3 とかに来るたんびに UBI さんのブースを僕は訪問してでビデオで撮ってもらって社内のビデオに登場したりしてましたね。
And every year at E3, you're kind enough to invite me to your booth, and we get to take lots of pictures and videos, and I've even recorded messages for Ubisoft employees in the past.
そのたんびにね、なんか UBI の開発の皆さんのすごい任天堂ゲーム愛みたいなものを感じてきました。
So over the years, I've always felt the deep, heartfelt passion that Ubisoft developers have for Nintendo and its characters.
それは一方でね、僕は同じ開発者としてライバルですからこう戦う姿勢で頑張ってきたんですけど。
But on the other hand, because we're both software developers, we've also looked at each other as kind of rivals and tried to see who could make the best software.
けどまあイブさんからラビッツの人形をもらったりいろいろして僕の席の前にもラビッツがいっぱいあるんですけどもそういうラビッツのヒューモアはすごく理解してました。
But of course, I've known the Rabbids characters for many years, and I have many Rabbids figures decorating my desk. And so I've always been a fan of the characters and their humor.
だから今回の話があった時にラビッツがどんなユーモアをこうゲームの中で見せてくれるかすごい楽しみにしてたんですね。
So since this project first started, I've been very excited to see what kind of humor the Rabbids could bring to the Mario world.
でただダビデさんに会った時にね、ダビデさんに一つだけお願いしたんです。
And so when I met Davide-san, who is the creative director of this game, yes. When I met Davide-san, I had just one condition for this project.
絶対こうジャンプするゲームとかそういうプラットフォームゲームじゃなくて。マリオで今まで作ったことのないジャンルのゲームを作ってほしいとお願いしました。
I said, whatever you do, don't try to make a jump game or a Mario platformer. Try to make a Mario game that has never been made before.
よかったですね。
And it's great.
And I can tell you, it was an exciting, very exciting challenge for all our teams. And I think we've done something you will love. So, thank you very much for giving us the chance to perform on this game.
はい、本当にこう ヨーロッパで作るとこんなものができるのかとかね。それから、UBI さんやっぱりアクションゲームをちゃんと作ってる会社なんで、単性のストラテジーゲームというもののちゃんとテンポのいいゲームが出来上がりました。
And so, of course, because the game is being made in Europe, it has a very unique flavor to it. And of course, Ubisoft is very good at making action games, but this game in particular has a great layer of strategy and tactics to it, but with a very good pace.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fresh, actually. So now let's welcome Xavier, the producer of the game, and he will show us the game. So thanks again. Thanks again, Miyamoto. Thank you.
Finally, we can talk about this project. So we've been working on this game for more than 3 years now, and to be at E3 today on this stage is just super exciting. So, what is this game exactly? So Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is a tactical adventure exclusive for the Nintendo Switch, and let's check right away some gameplay. So the rabbits have been teleported into the Mushroom Kingdom, and it made the world completely unstable and chaotic. So Mario, as a true hero, wants to save the day, but this time with some new friends. And at first, they don't really know each other, but in the end, they will form this dream team that will potentially save the Mushroom Kingdom. And as the game is a turn-based tactical adventure game, combat is a really big part of the concept. So you'll fight wave after wave of rabbit that somehow turn bad, and what we see here is just the very beginning of the game, so it will be perfect to talk about the combat basics. So the two flags you see on the screen here is to tell you that this is a battlefield zone. So you'll switch from exploration mode to battle mode. The blue zone is your zone of movement, so you move anywhere you want in that zone. But you can also use battlefield ingredients, such as covers for protection. So Rabbid Luigi here using half cover or full cover. And we also have what we call team jump. So by jumping on your teammates, you can expand your zone of movement. So here, Rabbid Peach, using Mario, she's able to flank the enemy. So you can also attack the enemy behind that cover and expose them by destroying that cover, which is really interesting in terms of strategy because for the next turns, you'll be open for attacks. And last but not least, techniques. So from defensive ones, like Rabbid Peach shield boost, or offensive ones, like Mario's Hero Sight. He's able to attack the enemy even if it's not his turn, as soon as the enemy moves. So this is a very core aspect of the game itself. So you mix and match attack options, movement abilities, techniques, but we also have other ingredients such as pipes, rabbit pipes. So those give you a good move to flank the enemy. So here, for example, Rabbid Luigi goes into the pipe, out of the pipe, dash the enemy, goes for Mario, team jump, land behind the enemy in one single movement sequence, and then finish off the enemy. And what we see here is actually an explosive cover. So those have many type of super effects, and this one was a push effect. So you can push heroes or enemies out of the boundaries. So again, this is just a glimpse into the basics of the game. And as you progress into the game, you have more tactic tools. You'll be able to do more combo setups. You'll be able to use different type of heroes, different type of weapons, in order to battle your way through the kingdom. Thank you. Thank you. And that's just a glimpse into the game itself. But first and foremost, this is a project done with passion, with our hearts. So it would not exist otherwise. So we just can't wait for you guys to try the game at E3 this week. For those who are not at E3, you'll see online coverage, videos, and surprises. So have a great conference. Have a great E3. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ashraf Ismail, game director for Assassin's Creed Origins. I've waited a long time to say that. Almost 10 years ago, I, as many of you, fell in love with a game. That game took us to the Third Crusade. And we fell in love again when it took us to the Italian Renaissance. Over the years, this amazing series has taken us to the American Revolution, the French Revolution, Victorian London, and of course, to the Republic of Pirates. For the 10-year anniversary of Assassin's Creed, for our fans, for ourselves, and for all newcomers, we wanted to go back. very far back to show how it all began. Since Black Flag, over the last 3.5 years, we have poured our energy, our talent, our passion into bringing the land of pyramids, pharaohs, and mummies to life, to bring ancient Egypt to life. Now, Egypt challenged us. It fundamentally challenged us to reinvent what it means to be Assassin's Creed. And over the next few days, you will see, play, and feel this reinvented experience. I am deeply honored and proud to be here representing the amazing work of a phenomenal team, and thrilled to finally be able to show you this beast we have been building. Without further ado, here is a taste of Egypt.
Across your screen, got you in the air. 15 minutes of freedom, still can fit so many. Still will light your chain, yeah. All my blood is in vain.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As an extra treat, let's check in with home base, where we're going to get a glimpse of what you'll see right after the UB conference.
Hey there, folks. Chris Waters here at the home base with Hanny Duong and Carl Lua, producer on Assassin's Creed Origins at Ubisoft Singapore. Carl's here to give us a look at the gameplay of the game. We're going to be entering the open world. We've got a ton more to show you, but Carl, kick it off. Give us a little taste here.
Yes, so here we are in the open world of Egypt. This is the demo that we will be showing on the show floor here at E3. Bayek is riding into the Fayum, one of the regions in Egypt, the most southernmost region. It's a beautiful area. We see we've come in from the desert, moving towards this Lake Morais. And let's have a little exploration around here using our Eagle scenery.
It's sunny on the lake and it's sunny on the monitor here, but folks, this looks really good. It's running on an Xbox One X. We'll be giving you the gameplay feed after the show. We've got 30 minutes of that coming up, but let's see if we can see from a bird's eye view what Seinu is up to.
Yeah, so Seinu is looking into this military camp and tagging a few enemies here. After the show, we will infiltrate this camp and take it out either through stealth or combat or perhaps ranged weaponry.
All right, if you guys want to see more of this, be sure to tune in right after the conference. Chris and I and Carl here will be right here. Ash will be joining us as well. You won't want to miss it.
That 30 minutes live gameplay feed is coming up after the show, but for now, it's back to the stage and on with the excitement.
That's it for now. Thank you. Thank you. So don't forget that you can watch this demo in its entirety after the conference, live stream from our home base. And for those of you here at E3, please come to the Ubisoft booth where you can live this new experience of Assassin's Creed. Thank you very much.
Here's your chance.
Driver with a promising career dominate off-road racing on his way to the top.
Our champion swerves around it brilliantly. Now that's the skill that wins no matter what the engine, no matter what the track. He's this season's undisputed motorsports champion, coming out of nowhere to rise to the top.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 2 years back, the crew took the driving genre out there to the big, wide, open world of the USA. Thanks to our players, we have taken this iconic vision to the next level. They showed us what they liked and what they wanted to see in the futures. Now, it's time to take it way beyond driving. I am Stéphane Bellet, Creative Director. This is The Crew 2. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Here in the US, motorsports are louder, bigger, edgier than anywhere else in the world. Drivers and fans meet across the country and celebrate a common passion for all things motorized. Now's your chance to join in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Crew 2, home of Motor Nation. In the heart of the city, street racers prove their skills, skidding on rooftops, burning asphalt, and tuning their rides. forge your own path off-road through the striking beauty of nature. Tame, unpredictable waves on the open ocean, rapid waters, or narrow rivers. Fearless pilots rule the skies, spin between buildings, through the clouds, among stunning, stunning perspectives. Thank you. All across the country, high-octane contests await you. Take the lead on modernation. You've had a glimpse of the Crew 2. Register now for beta access or play the demo at the booth. Experience TC2 for yourself. Enjoy the ride. Thank you.
We all started as one team. We all wanted to be superheroes for the same reason. You're a traitor, Tweak, and now you're with a group of super traitors. This was started by you. We aren't the ones who walked out of the fucking franchise, Mysterion! Why would the Freedom Pals help us? We send a spy, someone in our group who pretends to want to switch sides and join Freedom Pals. Somebody who they don't know very well. All is fair in love and war, Freedom Pussies. You fucking animal.
You've got problems, new kid. Whatever you did last night got a lot of people's attention. Bad people. If you need information, just know you can rely on Call Girl.
Who the fuck is that? So I guess now any fucking asshole thinks they can be a superhero. We're gonna rip you apart. Dude, Mysterion is pissed at you, new kid. Toolshed.
Toolshed is a gadget tier class visionary archetype.
And a butt-fucking traitor.
Eric, you must listen to me.
Get out of my head, Timmy.
Your franchise is going nowhere. Face the truth, Eric. You guys are kind of douchebags.
He just called us douchebags, in my mind.
He did?
Southpaw, the fractured but home.
Available October 17th.
there was this sort of synergy of, well, we're looking to do something interesting in VR, and we've got this division, and you're looking to sort of bring, you know, what sense you have of storytelling within, and put that into the context of VR.
You can, for the first time as a player, feel like you are in a movie.
That's a really good word for it. We want you to take off the gear and still feel unsettled.
Whilst working with Ubisoft, we stumbled across some fascinating research that had begun in the late 90s. Essentially, neuroscientists had figured out a way to upload brain data, trauma, emotions, memories, to the digital space. Now, we've gone and taken the next logical step, and with Ubisoft, we've recreated in virtual reality one such test subject. So we'd like you to come and join us and experience the Walter test case for yourself. Again.
What you're experiencing is a recorded consciousness. It's not unlike watching a movie, so no matter how real it may seem, it can't hurt you. You are completely safe. You are completely safe.
And now, I'm happy to share a new surprise with you. Building on the legacy of one of our most popular worlds, the super talented teams of Ubisoft Singapore came up with something really, really unique. So I want you to see that and enjoy. Thank you.
Men from all over the world sail the treacherous trade routes of the Indian Ocean. The riches in their holds fuel their dreams of power and fortune, while whetting the appetites of those they fear most. Pirates.
After 70 years, the way he goes therefore is to unlock the door. No, we're never gonna
120 days. That's how long the average pirate survived a lawless life on the seas during the golden age of piracy. I'm Justin Farron, the creative director for Skull and Bones. And this is your chance to not just survive, but to climb the food chain and surpass the legend of every pirate who ever sailed the high seas. Since bringing innovative naval combat to Assassin's Creed, we at Ubisoft Singapore have set out to bring you the ultimate pirate experience. A tactical action game where we take that naval combat to the next level, mastering the ocean and its winds at the helm, armed to the teeth. And together, terrorize the trade routes of the Indian Ocean. Season after season, you'll collaborate and compete with other bloodthirsty players, even execute ruthless betrayals, in order to become the ultimate pirate kingpin. Now I'm proud to share with you the Loot Hunt, one of Skull and Bones' 5 versus 5 team-based PvP modes. Right on, right? We've just received intel that merchant convoys rich with treasure are sailing just off the coast of Madagascar. But beware, there are other pirates.
The Priscilla Shallows of Madagascar. Located on the cusp of a bustling trade route, it is the perfect place for an ambush. Here is our gang of pirates, the Raiders, going head-to-head with a gang of rival players, the Cutthroats. Victory goes to the team with the most loot at the end of the hunt.
Are we ready for a hunt?
Knowing how to sail with the wind is a pirate's most precious skill. Use the winds to increase your speed or to position yourself for tactical advantage in battle. To reap the most rewards, it is best to split up, some going inland, others keeping to the open sea. Each warship has unique strengths. The frigate's hull is reinforced, its arsenal equipped with numerous culverin cannons. The brigantine is devastating up close, with a battering ram designed to break any resistance. The sloop of war kills from afar, with its crippling long-ranged mortars and precise long 9 cannons.
Sail! Flying hostile colors! All sail! Ride the wind! All hands on deck! Position fixed!
Open fire!
Nothing will save you now! Brace for attack! Woo! Drown, you soggy nutmegs!
Don't let bloodlust cloud your purpose. You're here for the loot, and so are your rivals.
Store the goods, then back to your station.
The team that escapes with the most loot claims victory. Searching for more targets on the horizon, our sloop of war spots a rival pirate ship further inland. With its heavily reinforced hull, our frigate swoops in to save the day, bearing the brunt of the damage.
Another day, another victim!
Speed, Mr. Mercy! Vamos con todo!
Our gang of pirates is now taking aim at the frigate, and it will take team coordination to take her down.
Fuego! Hold tight, lad! That ship's badly damaged!
They're killing! We can take their ship!
With the enemy ship's broadside now vulnerable, our frigate rushes in to board her.
No quarter! Taste of blackened silver.
Fancy snorting some fish piss?
We've got pirate hunters!
It's the rock fleet! Man au war! Rockets away!
Pirate hunters have been sent in, signaling the end of the hunt. They target the pirates with the most stolen loot.
Time to make our escape, Captain, or we are good for the news. They're firing mortars!
Full tilt, Silva, full tilt!
The pirate hunter defenses are so strong that the only option is escape. The brigantine is sacrificing herself to buy time for the frigate, who carries the most loot. The frigate now needs to make its escape through the reefs.
Captain, let's make for the reefs!
Successful pirates know when to run, with their hulls full and the wind at their backs.
Thank you all very much. I'd like to invite you to play the loot hunt at the Ubisoft booth at E3. And please register for our live phases online. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention. The world of Skull and Bones is one that evolves. When you act, it reacts.
That if I did not kiss the girls, my lips would grow a moldy. Way, ho, away, we'll haul away.
너에게 날 맞추지 마. 나에게 더 바라지 마. 거품처럼 커진 맘을 버블 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 팝 버블 버블 팝 있는 그대로 생각해봐. 보이는 대로 날 바라봐줘. 거품처럼 커진 맘을 버블 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 팝 버블 버블
pretty, I'll live forever, sing like Whitney. But I still wanna dance with somebody. I just wanna dance with somebody. I just wanna dance with somebody. I just wanna dance with somebody. It could be anybody. Tell me, are you that somebody? Don't Just love me the way I just wanna dance with somebody. I just wanna dance with somebody. Ooh, don't matter who you are, just love me the way I just wanna dance with somebody. I just wanna dance with somebody. Hey! Hey everyone, I'm BB Rexa, and Just Dance 2018 is out this October on all consoles. Bye!
You use it as a telephone. You use it as a camera. It's your music player, your flashlight, calculator, and GPS navigation device. But now, finally, the most high-tech company in the world has unlocked the mobile phone's true potential so that it can do what it was truly meant to do.
We are playing Cowboys and Indians. Hey, new kid, we need you to come play with us. Put on some cowboy shit and meet us outside. And bring your phone. Whoa, we're playing Cowboys and Indians, dickhole. Inuits are technically Native Americans. This new kid puts me to shame. Rip these guys a new asshole, new kid.
Phone destroyer!
Atlas, jewel of the Pleiades. Nova took us to the stars. Each new world more incredible than the last. We had no idea what was waiting for us. The Legion. It consumes everything in its path. They've never used Starlink before. Go show them what it can do.
Okay, let's do this. Come on. I got it.
Chase, how's it going?
Breaking atmosphere. Let's even the odds.
Judd, we need to buy time for me to jumpstart the engine.
They are resisting ice barrage. Linking fire loadout. We're up against impossible odds, but together we will adapt and overcome.
Hi, I'm Matt Rose, producer at Ubisoft Toronto. Like many of you, I grew up in the 80s, obsessed with sci-fi, animation, comics, and of course, all the really cool toys. At Ubisoft Toronto, we built a team with a dream of bringing those amazing childhood memories back to life for a new generation. Starlink Battle for Atlas allows you to take control of a team of star pilots in a massive, open, living star system, fighting to save Atlas from the Forgotten Legion. Build your custom starship and then adapt to new challenges on the fly. Link extra armor and heavy weapons to take on a huge Legion Prime. Search for ancient secrets lost on the worlds of Atlas, or outrun outlaws through an asteroid field. Freedom is at the core of Starlink Battle for Atlas. Collect your way with both physical Starship collectibles and digital versions available, and even take your game on the go using the power of Nintendo Switch. Visit starlinkgame.com for more information, and stay tuned for many more surprises over the coming months. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Coutaz. I'm the studio director at Ubisoft Annecy. It's a pleasure for me to be back on stage after our announcement at E3 last year. And we have had, since then, a full year of support and continuous development of Steep. Since the very beginning of this project, we have been working with athletes, and we have always been impressed by their passion and dedication. We learned how one champion spent 300 days a year on a trampoline to practice for that perfect landing. We learned how others make more than 6 million turns to practice for the 15 they have to race in competition. These athletes, they travel to the world to train with the best, to compete with the strongest, and to challenge themselves with the most experienced and skilled coaches. It's truly a level of passion and dedication that goes well beyond our everyday lives. And when you talk to the very best of these men and women, you realize that there is something they always have in back of their minds at all times. It's a dream that takes years of preparation for just one go at that unforgettable moment. This December, with our first Steep expansion, this is the journey you will take. Enjoy.
Child, you would wait and watch from far away, but you always knew that you'd be the one to work while they all play. And you'd lay awake and scheme of all the things that you would change, but it was just a dream.
Hi, my name is Dan Hay, and I'm the executive producer of Far Cry the brand, as well as the creative director of Far Cry 5. I'd like to introduce you to Hope County, Montana. Vast, beautiful, rugged. A place where people don't even lock their front door anymore. But that's how it used to be. Today, Hope County's been overrun by a fanatical cult. You find yourself trapped deep in cult territory, cut off from the rest of the world. They've closed the roads. There's no cell phone signal, no 911. People are fucking scared. I had to say it. And just up ahead, the small town of Falls End has been completely overrun. If you're gonna survive, you and your guns for hire are gonna need to save it. But to do that, well, you're gonna need to raise some hell.
We got piggies. Town looks like a war zone. Where do you want me? Water tower, got it. I'm in position.
You will be cleansed. You will confess your sins. You will atone. For only then will you walk in the light of our Father and be delivered.
Boom, boom, motherfuckers.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom.
Behind you.
Bang, 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 bang.
Gonna need more help.
I love the way you walk, and I love the way you talk. When you walk that walk, and you talk that talk. You knocks me out off my feet.
Looks like you could use some help.
Boom, 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 boom.
Target
bang,
a
bang,
fucking
bang,
quad.
bang. Boom, 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 boom.
Where's your master? I don't deal with domesticated.
Hey, the fuck? I ain't got no master, but I do have your little toy.
Show me the idol. Show me the Redeemer.
Here you go, mate.
Oh, shit.
Yo, hand it over. I got a hot date who don't do late.
Monkey's got a date.
Mwah.
What? What?
What? That's Swiss fucking chocolate, pig. Bon appetito.
I want every fucking cop in this fucking city after that fucking bastard!
Grab my chassis, Noxie!
Easy peasy, bro.
Shit! Hang on!
Bang, bang, motherfuckers! Fuck me.
Damn! Do it!
It's about bloody time. Let's see what we've got. Moksha. Just as Yama described it. True freedom lies beyond.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. First of all, I want to say a big thank you to all the teams who worked very, very, very hard on creating all this world. Again, thank you to all these teams behind us. I want also to say thank you to Yves, with all my heart. Thanks, Yves, for making this happen. This is just amazing. And also, a special thanks to the fans of Beyond Good and Evil for sticking with us for so long.
It's about bloody time.
15 years. Almost.
So welcome to System 3. Our story takes place before the birth of Jade, in a multi-ethnic, multicultural human society in a distant solar system. It is a time when corporations create hybrids in their labs and enslave them to colonize the stars in order to compete for power and cosmic resources. With our crew of crazy and unforgettable characters, we fight in the name of freedom and the right to determine our own fate among the stars. And we will helm massive star-faring vessels through territories as spectacular as they are dangerous.
We've been working very hard just on the technology during 3 years. And today, we have a seamless online playground where we can travel across space at the speed of light. We can explore mysterious cities and discover unknown lands by ourselves or with friends. And we want you to participate in the making of this great adventure. Join our Space Monkey program. Today, and help us make Beyond Good and Evil a world that will challenge us and bring us together for thousand adventure, thrills, and fun. And please, Eve, just join us. This is. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, you guys. You know, Gabrielle and Michelle, you've done a fantastic job. It's amazing what you have been able to achieve, and you and I and all the teams have the power of creating games that will amaze all the gamers. And I think video games can help us to grow and to get better. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now, I would like to thank everyone here in the room and those who are watching us from home. Thank you for listening today, and thank you for playing our games. So to all the teams at Ubisoft, thank you for your incredible imagination and enthusiasm. All of us here, we wish you all a lot of fun playing games this year. So thank you very much, and have a great E3.
Okay, wait, look, most importantly, it's not over. The show is not over, folks.
Hey everyone, welcome back to GameSpot's E3 stage. We just wrapped up the Ubisoft press conference, and we're here to talk about what we saw. I think we all want to get into Beyond Good and Evil too, but we are going to save it for later. I want to talk more about it. I want to go back through what we did see, although Beyond Good and Evil 2 is probably the biggest surprise. Like earlier in the year, we were talking about how Michelle and Cell had mentioned that they probably wouldn't be showing anything this year yet. Yeah. Here we are, and still getting over the shock of it. But another big surprise, Callie, I'm going to ask you about Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, because you seemed pretty pissed about it beforehand.
I mean, I wasn't actually angry. I feel bad because when I saw that guy crying, I was like, oh no, I'm a jerk. So
Yeah.
no, it looks really good. I wish that Rabbids weren't the minions of Ubisoft World,
Right.
because I still don't like their aesthetic, but this game, I mean, like, the gameplay looks really good. I'm actually excited to play this.
Yeah, I'm a huge XCOM fan, and I never thought that you could combine Rabbids and Mario, and I feel weird saying I really want to play this.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing this on the Switch, too. I feel like that's, like, custom-made to be on, like, a portable thing. I don't know, what do you two think?
Yeah, I'm, like, strangely excited for it. Again, it's got that XCOM style, but it's going to be much more accessible to such, like, a younger audience, a wider audience. I'm looking forward to seeing if they do something with multiplayer. Like, if you've got a Switch with your buddy and you just battle it out with like these XCOM style mechanics, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Even the little mechanics they have in that game, with the idea like you can like set up somebody and then they can launch you across the map. That was a lot more involved than I thought this game was ever going to be.
Yeah, I mean, this whole conference is actually kind of surprising.
Yeah.
We expected a few things. Obviously, like Assassin's Creed Origins, we knew was a thing. Far Cry 5, same thing. The Crew 2 they had announced back when they announced Far Cry 5 and Assassin's Creed Origins when that had leaked. But we did see a little more of Assassin's Creed Origins, but we actually saw more of it at Microsoft. They showed us like that kind of cinematic trailer,
if
you will. I don't know. Did it really do much for you guys after we've seen the gameplay already?
Like they said, they're going to show off gameplay later on, but I mean, that's kind of what we all wanted, right? Like, we just got to see it being played out in the sun.
Yeah, they're just trying to show off more of the world, I guess, of Egypt and it's Alexandria, and where else are we going to be?
It's I know it's like 49 BCE. That's a good question. There's like areas I'm not familiar with, like terms I'm not familiar with. They might be just like made up for the game. But like I said, you see like Horus statues and Anubis statues, and like you can see the animals in action.
Yeah.
So the trailer does show a little bit more about the environment, which is sort of what I asked for, but also not what I asked for, because I do want to know more about Bayek, the main character.
Yeah.
Seems like they're touching on the like the slavery element of ancient Egypt quite a bit as well.
Yeah, I was. I'm intrigued by that. I'm curious how that'll factor in. Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of on the precipice of Egypt's demise, is the time period this is set in.
Yeah.
So if that becomes a big part of the story, I'd be really, really interested in that.
Yeah.
That's definitely an important sort of issue when it comes to the formation of the Assassin's Order, right? The idea of like this sort of liberation that they sort of encompass within their sort of philosophy.
Yeah.
Most of the games are set during huge times of change. Renaissance, American Revolution. I guess the pirate game, not so much, but, speaking of that, yeah, we'll get into Skull and Bones in a little bit. But yeah, so they showed a little more of Assassin's Creed Origins. We will have more gameplay up for that game throughout the week on GameSpot, so you can see more there. But because they didn't show too much, we already knew about that. I want to move on from it. The Crew 2, notable because it's not just cars anymore.
Yeah.
It showed like airplanes and boats and dirt bikes like swooping over San Francisco, and then it flipped up down, like upside down the desert.
Set in the Inception universe.
Yeah. Yes. My question is, if you didn't master cars in the first game, why would you add just more vehicles?
I suppose that is one way of looking at it. I'm hoping they go down the route that like Dirt 4 has recently, where they've got a control scheme for the super simulator and a control scheme for like kind of anyone who just wants to play casually.
Yeah.
But then adding in land, sea, and air, and what looks like an open world, mud, city, everything. It's like you can race anything with an engine on it from
yeah.
what I've seen. That like. I said in the pre-show they need to do something different. They need to do something unique to the Crew, and they've done that. I can't remember the last time the game combined all these things, a racing game at least.
Yeah, the 5 hours of the first game I played, one problem I had was it felt very empty. So maybe the fact that you can do more than just drive and stick to roads, and now you can off-road, you can fly, you can go through like the bay, like I don't know, showed San Francisco Bay.
Yeah.
Into that. Yeah, maybe more is better here in this case. I don't know, Matt, were you impressed by the Crew 2 at all, or were you kind of tepid?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely dig the like sort of multiple kind of vehicle types you can use, and just this idea that you can just like drive in all these different kinds of terrains. You know, I'm kind of casualing the car game, so this has piqued my interest. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, they showed off more of that. I'm interested to see how those are all going to interweave. If it's because like the Crew, the cool thing was that it was like you know open world America. I'm curious how you'll transition between those different vehicles, because I don't know that they really detailed that.
But it looked like it was following the career of one racer, so it might be something like you're a jack of all trades motorsports guy, and you're going through different like tournaments.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine, well, I could be wrong, but it would be very cool if you had like a decathlon style race where you start in a car, drive down to the beach, get in a boat, drive up to where a seaplane is and take off.
Ooh.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, that would.
If they could find a seamless way to combine those,
that'd be really good.
Great racing game.
I'd be into that.
Yeah.
We also saw, like we said, we were wondering if we would see gameplay for South Park: The Fractured Butthole, or we would see just cinematic. They showed a pretty explicit cinematic as we kind of our trailer, I guess, as we lead up to October 17th release date.
Yes.
October. Side note, is packed this year. October, November, like maybe it's because the spring was so loaded this year that I'm looking ahead to the fall. I'm like, it's actually going to be kind of a relaxed fall. But then after all these announcements, especially after Bethesda's, they're like, all our games are coming out this fall or even this summer. October and November are insane, and they always are, but even more so it seems like this year. But yeah, they showed more of the Coon character and how you can create your own superhero, and how you're going to be kind of uniting South Park after this schism between the two sides, and Avengers Civil War. And I like her name's Call Girl.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love Wendy.
Yeah, I love. There's like a tool shed. He's not there. Oh yeah, he was right there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this a lot, actually. They didn't show much of the combat this time. They showed like brief glimpses of it, but I think we've done like in-depth kind of things with that before. I don't know, Callie, did this get you more excited, or are you kind of just still waiting for it?
I mean, this is definitely a South Park style trailer, so I am excited. I like that they are keeping the tongue-in-cheek, like your franchise is going dry or whatever he says. And I like that you get like all of the favorites, like, you know, and of course Timmy is one of my favorite characters, and I like, I don't know, I'm just, I'm still, I don't think the trailer really relied too much on existing South Park jokes, so like I said before, I think that if they stick to like the kind of humor without doing too many references, I think it'll be really strong. Yeah. So this made me hopeful for that, definitely.
Yeah, hopefully it's a good South Park experience in its own right, not just when it's mining the series.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. Something really weird that we saw. Not Mario Rabbids. I'm not backtracking.
Not that weird.
Elijah Wood came up on the screen during Ubisoft conference. Transference. It's a VR experience apparently, and from what he says, it's like it's based on like allowing people to you're revisiting other people's trauma, past trauma, or like conscience.
That makes me both very intrigued and very nervous, because if it's like a PTSD thing, I mean, VR has been used for like psychiatric purposes to help people with their phobias and with trauma. And so I think it's an interesting concept, but also, do I want to go into somebody's trauma?
Yeah.
So, and also it's a deeply personal thing, and obviously this is a fictional character, but part of that is like, ooh, I don't know if I personally can handle this. I think maybe that would hit me in the wrong way. Of course, this whole trailer was just super weird. There's like a video in it that's dated 2003, so there's like records of like medical records or something. I'm definitely curious.
I really like the tone of the trailer, especially when the dude comes up, he says, "You'll be safe," and then he's like repeats it a little less surely. You'll definitely be safe. I kind of got some horror vibes from it.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll go into that more.
Oh yes, creepy.
Yeah, I kind of like it. What do you two think, Matt? What are you excited for this at all?
I mean, VR is always tough territory for me because I suffer from motion sickness. So I'm kind of curious. But I mean, it seems interesting, but I don't know. I don't really know what to make of it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know really what it is too much yet. This is just, I guess, it's doing its job and making us ask questions. I don't know, Dave, is this something you could see yourself?
Absolutely not.
On VR?
The trailer scared me. I'm not playing the game.
All right, I guess I'm the only one. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. This dude, I like this. Yeah, this is the 2003 video we're talking about. Okay, cool. So, Skull and Bones. Apparently the video actually kind of leaked right before they did the announcement.
Yeah.
I think
It was put up and then pulled off straight away.
But that was like during the Crew 2 announcement. But they're saying it was one of the Ubisoft's like most celebrated worlds, and we were wondering what it was. But apparently they took Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, the Caribbean, and are making just a game based in that world. But the more I watched the trailer and the more the narrator was telling us what was happening, it sounds almost like For Honor with these classes of pirate ships and how they're like, there's actually a lot of layers underneath, kind of like with these classes, the frigate, the one that's like more of a battering ram, and how it's not about killing other pirates, it's about getting away with loot. I was kind of hoping, they said you could play it by yourself, but I was kind of hoping just for like a pirate, like a single player AAA pirate story game, like I had in the fourth game, in Assassin's Creed 4.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny, it strikes me as funny that you come out with Assassin's Creed 3, which I did not like, but I liked the naval combat, and then they made that into a game, and then I played that. I was like, I wish you could just get rid of the Assassin's Creed from this.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Now they made that. But it's supposedly like a multiplayer experience, and I'm curious. Again, it's the Sea of Thieves thing. I'm wondering how this will fracture into a wider world. And for the record, people saying this is competing with Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is releasing soon, we just played it 2 hours ago.
Exploration. And
This is coming out in 2018.
It's early 2000.
Pirates are not. Everybody's saying like, oh, pirates are hot now. Like they're all coming back. It's 2 games. Like what is because 2 things? Like stop. Don't call out trends if there's no trend. Like, I'm sorry, ranting. Callie, you've been wanting to say something in the middle of my fuming for like 10 seconds. Sorry.
Sorry, I just on the Sea of Thieves comparison. Yeah, I think Dave has a point that Sea of Thieves is much more exploration focused. This seems to be a little more. We saw a lot of combat in this look at gameplay. So I don't think they're necessarily comparable, and I don't think. I mean, just because they're both pirate games doesn't mean they're necessarily competing. I think they probably will be attracting different audiences.
Sure.
So, I don't know. I kind of just wanted to watch Pirates of the Caribbean after seeing this, though. I was like, oh, yeah.
Don't watch the new one.
I was,
First one.
Yeah, no, I meant the first one. And also, I really liked the cool lady pirate in the very beginning. I was like, oh, yeah, she's so badass.
Is she the one that ended up sacrificing herself, or no? Or did she get away at the end? I can't remember.
I don't know. I was busy tweeting about lady pirates.
Yeah. I'm really intrigued by this. I want to play this.
Yeah.
But I hope it's not just like a MOBA-ish kind of game with the different class of ships. I know that's being reductive. It's not at all, but I want it to actually be more about just feeling, because this looks really similar to.
Well, I think there's a lot to think about from what we've seen. Like,
yeah.
Like when For Honor was first showed off, there was no hint of single player. So single player story isn't out of the realms of possibility with this.
Right.
The whole season thing is quite interesting and how the world's gonna evolve. The one minor thing I was disappointed, because I'm so hyped for this game. I adore pirates, like pirate tattoos and shit. Like I love the pirate stuff. The one thing.
You know they did awful things, Dave. I'm just kidding. Sorry. I'm joking. I like
badass. They're allowed.
Yeah.
The one minor gripe I had with it, when they boarded, I really wanted that to turn from your captain get his sword out, jump across to the ship, and it turned into like a small fighting minigame.
Right.
If you actually had to fight the other captain and use your crew to kill the enemy crew, that would have
crazy. That would be cool.
Incredible.
Especially like if they could use some of the engine from For Honor or something, like with the combat they use there. I wonder if maybe just for this presentation they kind of faded to black and then came back and said loot stolen.
I hope so, because the whole boarding system just having a pop-up is a little anticlimactic. Like
a quick time, like, oh, that ship's down, go up and press X.
Swinging across a rope with your cutlass out and a blunderbuss.
It seems like a missed opportunity if they
this
don't
game
do
does look
that.
really cool. I'm excited for this. Surprised by it, but
Yeah, definitely surprised.
yeah, it's weird. It's again, a lot of people said Assassin's Creed 4 was great, but I didn't really love the Assassin's Creed aspects.
Right.
And now, like, what looks like a decent Assassin's Creed is coming out. That's kind of being mean. It looks good. I'm not, and then now we have this pirate game coming out. It looks like they split it off where they needed to, and it's exciting.
Took the best parts of both and ran with them.
And let them be their own things, let them breathe.
Yeah, they removed that expectation from Assassin's Creed as a franchise. Because, constantly people have been like, well, can we get another kind of Black Flag-esque game? Like, well, look here, it's just a pirate game now.
I still get, like, the urge to go back and play Black Flag just to be in that world again. And I love, like, hearing the songs. Just
the shanties.
The shanties,
Love the shanties.
Then they show the...
What do they call them? A soggy nutmeg or something?
Yeah, something like that.
I heard salty nutmeg, so I'm gonna use both of those interchangeably, I think.
Just Dance. I don't know if we have much to say. I'm sure it's gonna be more the same.
K-pop.
Good song.
Mariquai.
It's a good song. Mariquai.
Matt and I are a couple of nerds about this kind of thing, so of course we were like, oh my god, the K-pop came on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We know.
What'd you think of the dance? The one thing I didn't want to see. I'm just kidding. It was well choreographed. I respect their talent. So another weird thing that came out was Starlink Battle for Atlas. Like, what a weird conference. The more I talk about it. Starlink Battle for Atlas. It's like a Toys to Life game after companies are closing because they made Toys to Life games.
Yeah.
What is up with this? You get made like I don't mean this in a bad way. This is a compliment. If I saw this when I was 12, I would throw every dollar I ever got at this game.
I thought you were gonna say I would throw up.
I would throw up too. Yeah,
like
on
out of
purpose.
excitement. Yeah.
It's a Toys to Life game where you're just building the spaceship and you're taking off like the missile pods and putting new Gatling guns on in mid-battle.
No, it's like what you would do with your Legos in your head, except you get it in a video game.
Yeah.
Which is like, I would have been so excited about this. I would have played it with my little brother. Like, and I loved the how earnest the presentation was.
Yeah.
I think there were a lot of really earnest developers in this conference too.
Like Eve himself.
Yeah. And so just watching this, I was like, wow, this is just one of those like childhood dreams that turned into somebody's job. Like I really got that impression from it.
Yeah, for sure.
So then there's like an actual character they just put on. It looked like. So I guess we'll see more of this coming. I don't know if maybe we have a demo set up for this week. I'm hoping because I would like to see this.
But is that nostalgia enough to carry a genre? Well, not genre, but I mean, Toys to Life has been faltering a lot.
Yeah.
Like, how do you?
Disney Infinity, they kind of.
I think it's really going to depend on the price point of the actual toys. Like they can't, especially because you're going to be able to change them so much. I really think they're going to have to be fairly cheap.
Yeah.
Right.
I believe they also said that you could buy them digitally as well. And I don't know. I think they might have said that.
And like kind of talking about broad range of games, that's a different age group they're going for than like Skull and Bones and like South Park. You would hope, I guess, but I do. They announced Steep's first expansions, like Winter Olympics. We don't have to linger on this too long. Of the games we thought they would get DLC. Sorry, aside from For Honor, And like Rainbow Six Siege, I guess Steep was the one game we talked a little bit about, but that is the one that's getting DLC this December, I believe.
Yeah, I was surprised actually. I didn't think that would actually happen.
But then Far Cry 5, we saw more. Initially, the one trailer we saw, Kelly, you said it was behind closed doors like a month or two ago.
Yeah, I had seen that before. And I do like the haunting tone of it, but then the presentation, there was such a dissonance between the trailer, which has this really like somber, haunting, it's melancholic in a lot of ways. Yeah, ominous. Thank you. But then the presentation is like, boom, boom, motherfucker, pew, pew, and I'm like, okay, I don't know. This is my main concern with this game: is how do you marry a game that's fun to play and exciting and bombastic with like trying to hit this like, because they're really leaning into this super hard. Like if they were kind of like making it light or being more self-aware about, oh yeah, it's kind of ridiculous you're going in and blowing up this cult or whatever. I think that would be one thing. This is very serious. This guy is clearly in control of these people, is very manipulative. And there's like all this 7 deadly sins imagery in all the trailers. And then the gameplay is just like, all right, blowing stuff up. Like I just don't know how you happily marry those things.
Also, the creative director was really somber when he came out. He's like, rugged, Montana, wilderness. And then he's like, fucking, and then laughed. He's like, I had to say, I was like, come on, you don't, I don't know. And then it seemed like he had the same problem.
Well,
but
but
you look at Wolfenstein too. They're just going all out bombastic, and we're really excited about it.
That's a great comparison, actually. Like that's the way to really hit it the right way. How do you do that tone right?
I feel like Far Cry's always struggled with this to some extent. I mean, at least the one that comes to my mind is with Far Cry 3, where it's very like bombastic game where you're just shooting stuff, blowing stuff up, but then it also criticizes you for being having those inclinations, right? But it's never been able to sort of settle those things. It's almost contradictory. I mean, it seems to be just showing up here again with these two different drastic tones.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know how. I mean, that was just like kind of a gameplay trailer, so we don't know. I do want to talk about the dog really fast.
Yeah, that dog dies.
If we may,
riot.
I'm gonna do a cool hard right with my criticism and just be like, that dog rules. He brings you a gun. He's a good boy. I love him. He's perfect.
If my dog Lily is watching at home, I love you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how those allies play out. Like how you actually, because the shared one was like her name was Grace, and then Nick. I might be.
Nick Rye is like he has the biplane kind of thing, and Grace is a sniper, and then Boomer is a good boy. He's a good doggo.
Yeah. And then the one that surprised everyone, Beyond Good and Evil 2, because I mean, like I think a lot of people would have expected it if it weren't for the fact that Michel Ancel kind of strongly hinted that he wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think of it after seeing it? It's a prequel. Is that what I said before Jade?
Yeah.
Again, I don't know Beyond Good and Evil, the first one, too well, but I don't know, Matt, you played it. Callie, you seemed excited for this.
I'm intrigued. I'm not that familiar with Beyond Good and Evil. I mean, is this tonally at all similar?
It seems very, I mean, not to say that it's incredibly different, but it definitely is. It's clear that Beyond, like, this series is basically is growing older, I guess. You know what I mean? I don't like in terms of the tone, right? Like the amount of swear words that I heard.
Yeah,
it
seemed like
they were surprising considering like
there were a lot of F-bombs.
Yeah.
Like more than South Park. I think there was more swearing than the South Park trailer, which is saying something.
Yeah, it seemed like they were trying kind of hard for my taste, but I like the presentation of the rest of this. I don't like get how the gameplay is going to be. This is obviously, not gameplay, but like it seems like it's got a pretty ragtag group of characters that I might be into.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess in terms of like the amount of detail in the world, it really does feel like a completely different, not like completely different. It's
a departure.
How do I settle this? It's just like seeing a game that like was trying to create this kind of world, the PlayStation 2, and seeing that like world come now. They almost seem so drastically different, but they're the same, obviously. But
oh yeah, I know what you mean. You have it in your head one way, you have it in your memory one way.
And it's crazy seeing it like this.
Yeah.
It was interesting, especially as someone who doesn't really have the context of the first game, but people seemed excited about it, and it was definitely a surprise, something we didn't know about at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. Any last thoughts? Dave, Ubisoft, how do you think the conference went overall?
There were tons of surprises. Like we were saying, that we expected to see Rainbow Six and For Honor.
Yeah.
We didn't get those, but in the place of that, we got like incredible new IPs and things that like so many people are excited about. Games that like is the spectrum from the young to the old. It's I don't know. I've not seen a conference in a long time that there's literally been something for everyone. Yeah. And there was a lot of new surprises. So I think Ubisoft killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, what about you?
Yeah, I honestly think they did a great job. I mean, as Dave said, it really does sort of focus on sort of different games for different kinds of audiences. And, you know, they've announced a couple of new, like, IPs. Like, you know, I'm a big fan of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, so seeing, like, you know, a new pirate game within that sort of realm was fantastic. And then finally showing me more Beyond Good and Evil 2 was just a great way to wrap that whole thing up. They really hit it out of the park.
Yeah, Kelly, what's your final take?
Yeah, I think of all the conferences we've seen so far, it was really, really strong. Like everyone else said, I think that bringing something for everybody is really smart. I think Ubisoft kind of has that breadth of, like, in their library. You know, from Just Dance to South Park, you're hitting a very different audience. And I just liked, there was a lot of earnestness in the conference that I really liked. Every time a developer started crying, I started crying a little bit.
Yeah, Michelle Ansel.
Yeah, just the thing I like about that is that it shows that somebody put a lot of care into what you're seeing, and it reminds you that it's, you know, even if you aren't impressed by something, like somebody put a lot of work into it, and that's the kind of thing that it's nice to remember, especially during E3 when we're very busy seeing a lot of different things. That everything, you know, you can try to split your attention between a lot of things that deserve it. And so there were a lot of things here that were worth paying attention to.
Yeah.
And I really liked it.
Yeah. So that will do it for Ubisoft. We do have Sony's press conference coming up at 6 p.m. Pacific later today, and we're starting our pre-show at 5:30, but you can tune in and see gameplay throughout the show if you want to come in a little earlier. I'll be back to talk about that, and then we'll have Nintendo tomorrow after they do their Nintendo Direct style kind of thing. But in the meantime, if you want to look out for more gameplay from Ubisoft, from Bethesda last night, from EA and Microsoft, you can do so on GameSpot. So stay tuned, and we'll see you later today.